Right now at 9, two groups in Pittsburgh voiced their opinion on abortion laws in Kansas. Plus, a look at the grand opening of a new VFW building in Webb City. And locals in the 4 states area compete to win a cash prize over bowling. We'll take you there.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Two groups met today on adjacent corners at 4th and Broadway in Pittsburgh to voice their opinions on abortion laws in Kansas. KOAM's Bella Line spoke with each side on the matter.
On and before August 2nd, registered Kansas voters will have the chance to vote on the Value Them Both amendment that regards abortion laws in Kansas. Chelsea Curtis helped organize the pro-choice counter-protest in hopes to be the voice of reason for the other side.
Don't strictly go to the Bible, even though the Bible does have some things to say about abortion. Honestly, for both sides, there are plenty of Bible verses that talk about abortion and how it is used.
On the other side, Father Jerome Spexarth of Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church brought together pro-life advocates in hopes to encourage Kansans to vote yes for the amendment.
I would say really it's not even necessarily a religious issue, it's a human issue. The fact of us supporting the idea of taking an innocent human life within the womb really goes beyond even religion.
Despite the two sides having opposing views, Curtis and Father Spexarth hope the opposing side can come to understand the other.
I think more than anything, we are wanting them to know that we are pro-life as well. We are for the lives that are here right now. We are for the lives that are coming into the world. But as far as abortion is concerned, a lot of times it does save a life or more than one life.
Value Them Both will help to keep safe a lot of the rules that involve sanitary practices within abortion clinics. It will not ban abortion. It will simply keep in place parental approval and keeping our tax money away from paying for abortions.
The groups came out today with the intention of peaceful demonstrations, and both did just that. In Pittsburgh, Bella Line, KOAM News.
Early voting in Kansas is already underway. You can go to our website at koamnewsnow.com to learn more about all of your voting needs. And now to Sam with the weather.
Thanks very much, Jalen. It was another hot one across the area. In fact, we set a record here in Joplin, but the good news is there is some changes in our forecast, and we'll get to that in a moment. But look at this, 105 today, which beat the record of 103 set back in that dreadful summer of 2011. And it looks like we're going to be seeing those 100-degree temperatures for at least a few more days. However, radar is starting to light up a little bit with some showers and thunderstorms developing along a very weak cold front that's dropping down from the north. Let's zoom in a little bit to show you a little bit closer in view. You can see the showers over near Mount Vernon, extending on up towards Lamar, Girard, and then all the way back out towards Fredonia. This is slowly moving to the south, so not everyone's going to see the rain, but at least a few lucky folks are. Temperatures right now are still in the 90s for the most part, except where you've had the rain-cooled air like at Pittsburgh, where they're sitting at 83 right now. Also 85 degrees up in Iola with behind the cold front as well, but ahead of it, it's still pretty mild. Now, we've been talking about the drought a lot. It's not just here in the 4 states, but a large segment of the South Central Plains has been in the drought. And in fact, basically the western half of the country is under drought conditions. Hopefully, we're going to see some improvement in our weather as we head towards the middle part of the week, and I'll have details on that coming right up.
The grand opening of a new VFW building happened today. The new building is just down the road from the old one. They celebrated with sweets and gifts for the members who helped make this happen. The VFW serves the veterans, the military, and the community. They ensure that all veterans are respected for their service and recognized for the sacrifices that they and their loved ones have made on behalf of our country.
It was an older building. It was starting to have a lot of issues anyway, falling down. So it was a constant maintenance battle to keep it up. And the school came and they said, hey, we'd like to purchase that. And they gave us 2.5 acres, plus they bought that. And so we were able to buy, or actually build this new facility.
The new VFW building is located at 900 North Main in Webb City. Strikes, bears, doubles, turkey, and badger are just a few words bowlers use in this game. KOAM's Carrie Worthen visits Holiday Lanes in Pittsburgh for their annual bowling tournament.
So this is our 37th annual four-state mixed open. It is a true mixed tournament in bowling. What that means is 2 men, 2 women for team event, and man and woman for doubles and singles events.
Over a course of 4 weekends, singles, doubles, and teams compete to see who comes in first for a cash prize.
Get people from all over the entire 4-state area: Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri. They come from everywhere.
I've been coming up here 20 plus years. We love coming up here bowling. Bowling's a good sport, all season sport.
The month-long tournament looks to bring the community together.
This tournament's going to bring about 90 teams this year. So we'll see probably 1,000 people through here. That's family members, bowlers, whatnot. So good push for local economy as far as restaurants, hotels, things like that. So it's pretty neat.
We come up here because just the atmosphere. We love bowling up here, and then good place to eat. We always go down to gyms.
There is no spare time when it comes to the striking tournament.
We love our tournament bowlers. We strive very, very hard. It's a little grinding for us, but we love it. And they keep coming back year after year after year. So it's pretty cool.
Whether you bowl a spare, strike, or have to use the bumpers, bowling is for everyone.
I'll do it till I can't do it no more. If I can physically get in the door of a bowling alley, I'll continue to do it.
In Pittsburgh, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
You can sign up for Holiday Lane's Fall Bowling League that starts in August. We take this time to honor one of our 4-state heroes, Private First Class Harlan Lane. Private First Class Harlan Lane served in the Army in the Signal Corps unit and was stationed in Iwo Jima and Hawaii. A Carthage, Missouri native, we thank you, Private First Class Harlan Lane, our 4-state hero. Next, the World Health Organization has declared the monkeypox outbreak a public health emergency of international concern.
Enjoy.
A leading U.S. health center cautions parents over a sleep supplement for kids. Dr. Gina Robinson from Cleveland Clinic says melatonin, which is a natural substance to aid sleep, can cause poisoning in kids if not given carefully. The CDC cites a surge in melatonin poisoning in the last 10 years, and at least 2 children have died. Robinson recommends parents set regular bedtime routines or give children a chance to wind down before sleep. She says if you see signs of melatonin poison, like headaches, nausea, and dizziness, contact Poison Control. The World Health Organization has declared the monkeypox outbreak as a public health emergency of international concern. The decision comes as cases of viral disease have been rising not only in the U.S., but around the world. Cole Higgins has the latest.
The outbreak has continued to grow.
The World Health Organization announcing Saturday morning that the monkeypox outbreak is now a public health emergency of international concern. It's the highest alert level the WHO can declare, and it means that monkeypox has spread to the point where a coordinated international response may be required. The declaration comes after the WHO's second emergency committee on the issue on Thursday.
This is an outbreak that's concentrated among men who have sex with men. That means that this is an outbreak that can be stopped with the right strategies in the right groups.
Strategies like vaccinating vulnerable communities. As of Friday afternoon, the U.S. government has shipped nearly 300,000 monkeypox vaccines to states across the country and to U.S. territories, building on the 191,000 doses that were already available to states as of Wednesday.
More people are becoming aware and nervous about it, trying to get vaccines.
Right now, there are more than 16,800 probable or confirmed monkeypox cases reported in 74 countries, according to data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The U.S. is reporting more than 2,800 probable or confirmed cases in 46 states and jurisdictions. And the CDC has now identified 2 cases of monkeypox in children in the U.S. Because the virus can spread through contact with body fluids, respiratory droplets, skin-to-skin contact, and the touching of bedding or clothes, anyone is at risk of contracting the disease. I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
Currently, there are 2 ongoing public health emergencies: polio, which began in 2014, and COVID-19 starting in 2020. Later, we'll find out how the ongoing heat is impacting farms across the United States.
Be sure and drop your... Good evening, everyone. The heat rolls on across the 4 states with more records set today, including Joplin with a record high of 105. Right now, looking out at the Indigo sky cam, you can see it's a pleasant evening out there. Just a few cirrus clouds down in Seneca. However, those cirrus clouds are part of a thunderstorm complex and a system that's going to be moving into our area over the next few days. And so as it does so, we're going to start to see some changes in our forecast, some good changes. Although we still are under a heat advisory for Wednesday, or at least through Wednesday 8 p.m., I wouldn't be surprised to see other counties issued another heat advisory as we go through time, but right now that's the way it's setting up. Let's look over the last month, and you can see so far 102 yesterday, 105 today. That makes 22 days this month so far above normal on temperatures and only 2 below normal. So it has been a very, very hot July, to say the least. Temperatures are still very warm right now. We're seeing generally 90s south of that frontal boundary. You can see that right now, Pittsburgh, they dropped down to 83. That's because of some rain-cooled air. Also rain-cooled air in Iola at 85, 84 in Fort Scott, and 84 for our friends up in Nevada. Meanwhile, ahead of the front, it's still in the 90s, like 93 in Nowata and 91 for our friends in Veneta. Dew points, they're also increasing, and that's what's going to make it sticky, especially this evening. Look at the dew point in Parsons right now. That's downright miserable. 72, 64 in Commerce, 66 in Webb City. So the dew points are increasing, and that's going to add to the stickiness level, because once you get above 65, the atmosphere starts to become sticky, and we won't even talk about 70 with the muggy air. All right, when we do factor in the dew point and the temperature right now, this is what it feels like right now. 88 in Pittsburgh, so not too bad. 95 in Nevada, 89 in Fort Scott, but notice Nowata still sitting at 95 is what it feels like right now. Let's take a look at the Joplin cam, and you can see we have the thunderstorms off in the distance. You can see flashes of lightning periodically here. Right now in Joplin, we're sitting at 91 degrees with a north-northeast wind. That means the front has now finally made it through the area. It feels like 94 right now, and that's because the dew point is up there at 66, humidity at 43%, and the pressure is currently falling. Radar starting to light up, and this is good news because a lot of farmers are really wanting that rainfall, and I think everyone would be happy with that. This is right along that boundary that we talked about yesterday. It's slowly moving to the south, so don't be surprised to see a few thunderstorms tonight in the overnight hours, especially down in northeastern Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas. Let's zoom in and show you a little bit closer in view. Big storms over near Fredonia, stretching eastward there, south of Erie, now into Parsons, near Girard, over to Pittsburgh, and then on over into western parts of Missouri, around Lamar, and north of Carthage. And this, like I said, is slowly moving to the south, so hopefully everyone will get at least a few drops in the rain bucket. Here's your future track forecast. Here's the front. It's going to move to the south tonight. Notice the winds will be out of the east. The best chance of storms is going to be way up to the north around Kansas City. But then as we go through Monday, watch what happens. The front totally disappears, and instead we have a warm front come back to the north, and the heat starts to build in once again, around 100 here on Monday in Joplin. And then as we go into Tuesday, 81 in the morning with the warm front up to the north. Best chance of storms again up towards Nevada and Stockton area. And then as we go through Tuesday afternoon, we're going to see temperatures 103 one more time. But I promise some relief. Here's the cold front back to the north and west. That's going to slowly move towards the south and east, increasing our rain chances and also finally introducing some cooler air as it moves through our area by Wednesday morning. All right, let's take the rain tracker. We're expecting around 1/4 inch between now and tomorrow evening, but as we go through time, notice the rain amounts start to increase as we go through Tuesday, and especially as we move into Thursday, the rain chances really start to increase across our area. Some places could see 1 inch or more, but that's if you're really, really lucky, and if you're living right, you might get 1 inch or 2 of rainfall in isolated locations. But then by Friday, generally, hopefully everyone will see around 1/3 to 1/2 inch of rainfall, but we definitely need the rainfall across our areas. Temperatures are going to be downright hot once again Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then finally Jalen, we get some relief as that front moves through. We drop closer to normal on Thursday and Friday. And look at that, by next weekend, break out the wind jackets, because it's going to be 84 and 86 for your highs, which is going to be very, very pleasant. And some of the models are indicating that southeastern parts of Kansas and northeast Oklahoma could get quite a bit of rainfall as we head towards next weekend, and that will be certainly welcome for a lot of our farmers.
Yeah, I mean, we've had tons of dry weather.
Yep.
Tons of heat.
Yep.
I remember looking around 4th of July, they were saying, be mindful, setting off fireworks, we don't want any fires.
Right.
Last week we had firefighters saying like, hey guys, be careful, don't burn any brush. It's too hot out here to be fighting fires if we have to fight a wildfire or something of that nature. So next weekend, prayerfully, if we can get some rain to roll through, that would be huge.
Exactly. And it would be nice if everyone got a little bit of rainfall, and it looks like that might happen, but it's not going to be everybody. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Sam.
All right.
And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. And later, how the Mega Millions jackpot continues to rise. And still, how the ongoing heat is hitting farms across the U.S. Be sure. The Mega Millions jackpot is now $790 million. It's the 4th largest jackpot in game history. The pot went up after no winner came forward with a winning ticket, matching all 6 numbers in the latest drawing. It's also the largest because there hasn't been a winner in 3 months. The next drawing is set for Tuesday. If a winning ticket is found, the winner can spread out their pay over 30 annual payments or choose a cash option of $464.4 million. Mega Millions is played in 45 states, including Washington, D.C. and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And next, for those who want free sandwiches for life, it might come at a hefty price. If you love body art and Subway, this story is just for you. The sandwich shop is offering one person who gets a 12 by 12 foot-long tattoo of the Subway series logo. The chance is to get free sandwiches for life. The tattoo will go on the sternum or back, and 9 people will compete for the grand prize at a Las Vegas block party on Wednesday. The lucky winner gets $50,000 in Subway gift cards every year. Stay with us because we've got 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports when the KOAM News at 9 returns. Tonight at 9, a look at California wildfires, plus how this year's extreme heat is causing problems for Americans, and how the war in Ukraine is affecting marriages. All that coming up and more.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
5 people injured after a truck drove through busy Ellis Square in downtown Savannah, Georgia last night. According to Savannah police, a 2019 F-150 Ford pickup truck driven by 77-year-old John Stanley of Savannah was leaving Whitaker parking garage when the truck accelerated, crossing the street and entering the park. The truck struck several pedestrians before coming to rest against a stone wall. 4 pedestrians were transported to a local hospital. A 38-year-old man and his son remain in the hospital with serious injuries. Officials at SAU say the crash was accidental but remains under investigation. From coast to coast, 85 million Americans are sweltering under excessive heat warnings or advisories this weekend. Some parts of the country are hitting record-breaking temperatures in a nearly week-long heat wave. Elise Preston reports.
Triathletes in New York City got a much-needed cold, wet towel after crossing the finish line Sunday morning.
It was hard, it was hot, but it was amazing.
Race organizers shortened the run and bike portions of the race due to the oppressive heat. Boston's triathlon was postponed until August, and Sunday the city hit a new record high.
Excruciating. Dante's Inferno.
Newark, New Jersey also broke a heat record, and New York City extended swimming pool hours Sunday, where residents are suffering through the longest heat wave in nearly a decade.
People are taking the notice seriously. We only have one heat-related death.
On the West Coast, an explosive wildfire near Yosemite National Park has forced the evacuation of thousands of residents.
Everything that's burning in the fire is extremely dry. California has been dry the last few years and has gotten drier.
Crews say the drought, along with continued high temperatures and low humidity, are hampering firefighting efforts.
Tonight, California's Mariposa County is under a state emergency as a massive, fast-moving wildfire burns out of control, forcing thousands of people to evacuate. Joy Benedict has more.
California's largest wildfire this year still rages out of control near Yosemite National Park. The Oak Fire's explosive growth continued overnight, threatening homes and forcing thousands to flee.
Just sad.
The wildfire, which started Friday afternoon, has burned more than 14,000 acres, destroyed 10 structures, and threatens more than 2,600 buildings.
This is the first time ever in my life being evacuated, so this is kind of different. You know, a lot of anxiety.
Firefighters are attacking the flames from the air and the ground. But hot weather, low humidity, and a third year of extreme drought are making the battle even harder.
Everything that's burning in the fire is extremely dry.
Texas joins California and nearly half of the country in a drought. The dry conditions sparking 15 active wildfires across the Lone Star State. Governor Greg Abbott signed a disaster declaration after fires destroyed 16 homes in North Texas.
The best news is that no lives have been lost.
Back in California, the state has fought more than 4,400 wildfires already this year, and the Oak Fire is proving to be the toughest one yet.
Brutal hot weather is hitting the Midwest and is affecting crop farmers and cattle ranchers hard. Scorching hot temperatures in the hundreds have swarmed over parts of the South, Midwest, and West, with heat advisories going out in many states. The hot weather is severely affecting the growing season for many crops and taking the moisture out of the soil and worsening longer running drought conditions in parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and other states, potentially harming the livestock and parching pastures, leading ranchers to spend more supplemental feed for cattle and even sell it early. And now Sam Lane joins us for weather.
Yeah, Jalen, it's been extremely hot, of course, not only here in the 4 states, but for a large segment of the population of the United States, especially from the western states on towards our direction, and including Joplin. It was pretty hot again today. In fact, we set a record. 105 was the high this afternoon, and the old record was 103 back in that miserable summer of 2011. And this summer is shaping up to be very similar to 2011. And of course, it's way above normal of 91 for this time of year. But look at the good news. We do have some showers and storms on radar developing along that weak boundary and cool front that's dropping down from the north. In fact, if we take a little bit closer in view, you can see some of those scattered showers stretching from near Lamar, north of Carthage, over towards Pittsburgh and Girard, extending back westward towards Parsons and Fredonia. And we're looking at temperatures a little bit cooler behind the boundary, but it's still pretty warm ahead of it. And of course, we'll have complete details in your forecast in just a few short minutes.
Pope Francis took a trip to Canada in hopes to mend the relationship with Indigenous people groups in Canada. He plans to apologize to the Indigenous people for the abuses done by missionaries at residential schools, a step towards the Catholic Church's efforts to reconcile with Native communities. He also met with Mary Simon, who was Canada's first Indigenous Governor General. We'll be right back with more news after this. Marriage never goes out of style, but it can take on greater urgency and importance in wartime. In Ukraine, uncertainty about the future is spurring couples to exchange vows now more than ever. Scott McLean reports.
This is not exactly a dream wedding venue, but Vlada and Ivan would be happy just about anywhere. On their big day, the groom, a massage therapist turned army medic, gives his bride a quick foot rub before it's their turn to say I do. All of my life has led to this day, she says. After a brief ceremony, a few words, and a few signatures, the newlyweds seal it with a kiss. Congratulations, she says, on the beginning of your new life together. The pair, who asked us not to use their last name, says Ivan is serving on the front lines in southern Ukraine. He was able to get away long enough to marry, but will be back at war within days. The procedure itself became easier during martial law, he says. It was harder for me to get here than it was to get married. Under Ukraine's newly relaxed wartime marriage laws, there is no longer a 1-month waiting period, in part to accommodate a surge in the number of military couples wanting to wed on short notice. Martial law even allows people to marry online. Anna Hutorian and her new husband, fighting on the front lines, had no other choice.
So this is how you got married?
I went to the store with my friend to have a coffee, she told us, and my husband called me on a video call like I'm talking to you, and I saw a lady who asked us if we were ready to get married. It was the happiest day of my life.
Have you seen your husband since you were married?
No, she says, only through the phone. Aside from love, Anna is also aware of the practical realities, like getting access to her husband if he were to be injured or killed in battle. Back at the registration office, officiant Oksana Poberierzhets says war is changing lives and perspectives. Now we are living in a very dangerous time, she says, and maybe people who are planning tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, or in a year to get married have realized that we're living today, here and now, and maybe that's where their decision comes from. That's precisely where Sergei Yanov's decision came from. After 8 years with Tatiana, war suddenly made marriage a priority. War worries me more than anything else, he says. This is not how we envisioned our wedding, but we only had one day, she tells us, so we wanted to make the most of it. Short on time today, but hoping to have a lifetime together after war.
Unfortunately, the war in Ukraine has been going on since late February. First, a look at the upcoming weather, but later Joplin Little League is competing for the state tournament this weekend.
Well, folks, we broke another record today, and this time of year, these are not the kind of records you want to break. We broke a record high of 105 today in Joplin. Right now, you can see a pleasant evening with our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort down in Seneca. Beautiful evening. However, there are some changes in the forecast, and that's good news. But until then, we are still under a heat advisory for southeastern Kansas and southwestern Missouri. And don't be surprised if other counties join in on the fun over the next couple of days. And then we start to finally see some changes. But let's look at the month of July. Wow, 105 today, 102 yesterday. That makes, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row of 100 plus. And again, these are not the type of records we like to set. All right, let's take a look at the temperatures right now. You can see it's still 91 in Joplin, but we are starting to see northerly winds now. That's because that front has dropped through, and as a result, we're going to see slightly cooler temperatures. Lamar right now sitting at 84, 81 in Fort Scott, but that's because of the rain-cooled air just up to our north. Dew points are helping out too a few days ago, but right now the dew points are sticky in the mid-60s. Check out Pittsburgh, 70-degree dew point, so it's feeling a little bit muggy out there across our area. Anytime you see dew points above 65, it starts to get a little bit uncomfortable. Hopefully we're going to see some changes in the long-range forecast, but until then, it still feels like 94 in Webb City, 84 pleasant degrees in Fort Scott, and 82 up in Iola. Right now in Joplin, we can see a little bit of thunder and lightning up to the north and west with those storms that are starting to fall apart just a little bit. We're still 91 here in Joplin. Dew point is 66, so it makes it feel like 94. But check out the wind. Turned around to the north and northeast, starting to bring in some cooler and slightly drier air. Here's a look at the radar. You can see the scattered showers and storms developing along that boundary over the evening hours. But notice in the last few frames, we're starting to see some of these showers start to fall apart. But we'll see a regeneration of storms as that boundary is going to be in our area for the next few days. Now, not everybody's going to get the rain, but at least a few folks are, especially these folks in southeastern Kansas, they are really needing it badly, especially the farmers and ranchers. Here's a look at your future track forecast. Here's the boundary. It moves to the south tonight. Lows in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. The best chance of rain will be up to the north along the Kansas City area. Then as we go through Monday, the whole thing turns back to the north as a warm front, and we go right back into the heat with around 100 degrees here in Joplin. Then as we go through into Tuesday morning, the front kind of wavers around a little bit, more storms up to the north. And then as we go through Tuesday afternoon, back up to 103 here in the area, and then another front drops in from the north and west. And finally, we're going to see some changes with cooler temperatures and also some rainfall. In fact, as we move through the forecast, you can see rainfall amounts are generally going to be around ½ an inch in some locations. Even a few places could see an inch or two, so that'll be certainly welcome news, but not everybody is going to get in on the heavy rainfall. All right, let's take a look at the 5-day or the 7-day forecast, I should say. If we can make it through the next 3 days, Jalen, I think we're going to finally see some relief as we move towards next weekend behind that cold front as we get closer to normal temperatures.
Fingers crossed for sure, especially in
and
the
our feet too, and toes and everything we have to do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
Coming up in sports, Joplin fights to stay alive in the Junior Little League tournament. Plus, former Missouri Southern State standout Cam Martin coaches a local athletes camp, and we'll hear from him next.
Frontenac High School hosted the All-Area Fantasy Basketball Camp this weekend. Cam Martin was among 8 KU players who helped coach this year's camp. Martin spent 3 years of his basketball career at Missouri Southern before transferring to Kansas. He's a 3-time All-American for the Lions. Martin says he enjoyed returning to the area and he'll be back again very soon. He's hosting his own camp in Joplin the first week of August. Here he is on what it means to give back to the community.
It's great coming back, seeing familiar faces and seeing how happy we make these kids and just the difference we make in the community. So just being a small part of this, it's really fun. Being these kids role models, for them having somebody they can look up to. I remember when I was younger going to camps and looking up to the players and wanting to be like them one day. And it's kind of just full circle. Even like myself having the opportunity to have my camp next week in Joplin at Missouri Southern, and then just being able to give back. It's surreal just being able to do this for the community.
Joplin Little League's Junior League is competing in the state tournament this weekend, and this year Joplin gets home field advantage as the tournament hosts. Joplin fell in their tournament opener, so they need a win today against Hillsboro. First inning, Joplin already with a big lead. Lake Ward gets it through the right side, 2-run score. It's 13-0. Later in the fourth, bases loaded, Owen Walker smashes it deep to left center field. 2 more score off a double. Same frame with 2 on, J.J. Love hits it up the line. Both base runners come home, and Love rounds third and makes it home himself. All Joplin today. They win 25-0. With the win, Joplin advances and plays a second game against Northwest, but Joplin's run ends there. Northwest wins 14-1. In the MLB, Cards close out a series with the Reds today. Joey Votto extends Cincinnati's lead in the third. He crushes a 3-run home run. Reds up 4-0. Paul Goldschmidt gets St. Louis on the board, launches one deep, 2-run shot, 4-2. A few innings later, he's back for more. Second homer of the day, number 23 and 24 on the season. Cards still trail by 3 in the 9th. Tommy Edman pops it up for the final out. Cincinnati holds on to win 6-3. Royals looking for a series win against the Rays to start the second half of the season. Bobby Witt Jr. in the first drops it into shallow right. Whit Merrifield scores. Skip to the 7th. Let's see some defense. Hard liner to third. Emmanuel Rivera turns the double play. One more time in slow-mo. Rivera dives, touches the bag, and makes the throw. Bottom half, tie game. Hunter Dozier hits one into the gap. Merrifield comes home. And in the 8th, MJ Melendez adds some insurance. RBI double down the line. Royals win 4-2.
Yeah, I'm not much of a baseball guy, but the Manny Rivera play, awesome for sure.
Yeah, love to see that. I love double plays. You gotta love double plays, and that effort was really awesome. So
Yeah,
good to see.
Athleticism was definitely on display right there.
Good start for the Royals after the break, for sure.
Absolutely. And next, a look at next week's box office. From Top Gun to Thor: Love and Thunder, here's a look at today's top box office review.
Top Gun Maverick flew down to 5th place. $10 million gave the long-awaited sequel a domestic total of $636 million. $10.3 million put Where the Crawdads Sing in 4th place in its second weekend in theaters. Minions: The Rise of Gru slipped to 3rd, but made $17.7 million for a domestic total of $298 million.
God of Thunder, King Kong.
Thor: Love and Thunder is up to $276 million domestic after a second-place weekend worth $22.1 million.
Something above the clouds. That's big.
How big?
Big.
Moviegoers said yes to Jordan Peele's latest twist-filled thriller, Nope. Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer star in the film, which debuted on top with $44 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Yeah, I definitely gotta head to the theater sometime this week so I can check something out.
They keep it cold in the theater, and they're going to need that because it's going to be hot for a few more days. But there is some light at the end of the tunnel of this heat wave. We can see 100 tomorrow with scattered thunderstorms possible. A little bit hotter on Tuesday with 102. Drop it back to 100 on Wednesday. And look at that, Jalen. As we head towards next weekend, temperatures actually in the upper 80s for highs. Break out the jackets, right?
Absolutely. I mean, since we've been hitting triple digits.
I know. It's been crazy this summer so far, but a nice break is coming up for us here in the next few days.
All right, absolutely. That's it for our time together. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 9. Thanks for making us part of your night.